the Electoral Commission, it is asking political parties to give them up to Monday to furnish them with a list of registered voters added to the supplementary register. The EC explains that the court ordered them to include names of persons who challenged their disqualification but was unable to provide a list of such persons. At a just-ended IPAC meeting, the parties demanded the full list of registered voters is captured on the supplementary register. My colleague, Kwesi Parker Wilson, has been monitoring the IPAC meeting and is joining me via Zoom right now. Parker, let's begin with what exactly the issue has been with the supplementary register.
All right, so Gifty, today's IPAC meeting essentially was to update the parties on the verification process, the content of the statement of vote, voting at prisons without polling station, update on the missing names, and that is where the concern is, missing names. Now, the NDC had alleged that the EC was smuggling about 541 names onto the register. Now, the point the Electoral Commission made was that some individuals challenged their disqualification, and so they went to court, and the court asked them to be on the register. Now, mind you, the commission had already created the certified register and had given the register to the political party. So it was impossible for them to have added the additional names onto the certified register. Reason for creation of the supplementary register. But when they came to the IPAC meeting today, the AC then updated the list and told the political parties that now the names have moved from 541 to about 800. The parties demanded the full list, I mean, the names of the accurate figure. But according to the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mr. Bobo Tukono, and also a member of the NPP, that is Obi Amwa, the Electoral Commission couldn't provide them with the names of the 800 people or even the actual figures. And so they told me that the EC actually begged them that by close of day Monday, they will submit the names of these individuals to them so that they can have them, and then on the day of election, at least they can cross-check with the ones the Electoral Commission has at the polling station and the one that they have. So that was a bone of contention, and the NDC Deputy General Secretary, Ojukono, says that it was the first time the NPP and the NDC had agreed on one subject at IPAC meeting. And so he was happy that for the first time, the NPP sided with the NDC. Now, there's another issue that the NDC says that the NPP also indeed commended them for and sided with them. It was about voting at the prison. Now, the Electoral Commission says that it's very difficult that the security personnel at the prisons would guard the prisoners or protect them with security while they are voted. And so they wanted to create a special police station at the prison. The NDC objected to that. And the NPP agreed with the NDC that it is not possible that they create a special police center at the prison because unscrupulous individuals can abuse the system and even stamp the ballot at the prison. And so that was the conclusion and the agreement from both sides. So the NDC is happy today that at least the NPP for once have agreed with them, and because of the agreement, they have pushed the Electoral Commission to review the things that they intended to do going forward into this year's election.
You mentioned voting in the prisons. So what does it mean right now? Does it mean that the prisoners or those in prison cannot vote as it stands?
Well, they will vote. But you see, when they were registering, they registered outside the prison walls. They created a polling station nearby the prison. And that was when the individuals or the prisoners went to register. Now,
but you said that the parties disagreed with setting up a polling station or polling stations in the prisons.
Yes, mainly because the security personnel at the prison on the day of election would also have to go and exercise their franchise. And so there wouldn't be enough security personnel to guard the prisoners once they are outside the prison walls to go and register. It was the main reason why the Electoral Commission had wanted to create a police station at the prison, which the parties have taken against. And so what the Electoral Commission, according to the parties, what the Electoral Commission intends to do now is to now exclude the names of the prisoners and make a special list just for the prisoners. And so if they come, then fine, they can cross-check their names and allow them to to vote. But if they don't come, then that is fine. But setting up a polling station at the prisons, that is a difficulty for the party, which the EC has to reverse.
Very well. Apart from the the names or the list of registered voters added to the supplementary register and voting in the prisons, what other issues did this IPAC meeting discuss, Parker, if I still have you there?
Yeah, you mentioned a while ago that the Electoral Commission banked excess of about 150 ballot papers. Now, that issue also came up at the meeting today. Now, the NDC had made the point that, printing 5% ballot papers for each constituency was going to be a problem, or was going to be problematic. And so they actually wanted the Electoral Commission to do by polling station by polling station. So for you to print about 500 ballot papers for a constituency, it's better to print about 10 or 15 ballot papers for a polling station. And so this came up at the meeting, and the EC agreed with the NDC that, well, going forward, they are not going to print about 10 or 15 ballot papers for each polling station, and not necessarily do a whole constituency issue. So that issue also came up, and that has been resolved. So for the NDC, today, they left the IPAC meeting very happy, knowing very well that the suggestions and recommendations they made at the meeting, the EC admitted and would work towards it.
Some good news there, 10 days to the election, I must say, because it hasn't been so from the beginning. Parker, thank you very much for those updates there. Kwesi Parker Wilson there, he joined us after monitoring that IPAC meeting, which happened today, and he's brought us some updates.